Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Letter. Last time we left off, we saw the creepy lady in the window of a shop. Becca looked in it on the way back, so who knows whether she actually saw it as well. If other people are starting to see it, maybe we'll start seeing other things. Today, Ash has come to pick us up so we can go see this sciencey person that we said we would go and see in an earlier episode. So without further ado, let's get on into it. He makes a motion with his fingers around his ear. Tone it down.
Can you even drive?
He answers me with a slight raise of his hand, a yawn, and nothing else. He has never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that, I'm thankful to every god in the universe. Less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. Ha! There's the reason why mornings are my favourite. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination. A small cafe is situated on Luxembourg's busiest street, the same one I'd often visit with Becca for its cheap food. I've never gone here on a Sunday. It's striking how different it appears without the usual weekday and Saturday rush. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back home, near the university I used to attend. I wonder what happened to it. It was being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, anxiety easily washes over me as soon as I step out the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before, thanks to my work. But still, I don't know him. In spite of the fact both Ash and Becca have vouched for him, what will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I draw in a breath and quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Oh well, only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward, and then Ash is suddenly pulling me back on my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead. Hard. Screw you, bro!
That hurts! What was that for?
Yeah, fuck you, Ash. He's already walking away when I look up, and I hurry to catch up with him, puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. So rude.
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite. He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything.
Totally.
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Huh?
What was that last one? Hey! Don't just ignore me!
Bitch, get your ass back here! All questions and retort die on my tongue once he opens the door to the shop. A cast iron bell attached to it chimes softly, announcing our arrival. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as soon as we step in. Like the usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons, but most of the customers have forgotten them in favour of the more comfortable throw pillows and beanbags the staff has laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know they had something like this on Sundays. She's been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for so long. Oh, hello. He reminds me of the professor from Ruby. Ash leads me to a secluded spot near the window, where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, is seated, enjoying a brew and a book.
Professor Clark.
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
Ooh, Detective Inspector. The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face at the old man's admonishment. More unusual, in my opinion, is seeing him appear like a parent has just scolded him. But it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond of someone expects from a simple student and mentor. With another smile, he gestures for us to take an empty seat opposite him.
Have you been waiting long?
Quite some time.
Oh shit.
But I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of bear claws. They're the only place that serves it here.
Ooh.
I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sets down a basket of pastries.
Aren't you going to introduce the lady?
No, he's an ashhole.
Ah, right, sorry. Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
Maybe?
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Filipino. I know it probably said it earlier on, but I can't remember.
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos. Just Andrew is fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
He doesn't listen to anyone. Hey! He doesn't listen to anyone. More like, boom. The awkward tension typically present in first meetings dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict and, to an extent, someone severe. But Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I had in mind. The more personal kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at family gatherings. It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I could help with.
Yes, I think I'm going crazy.
Let's hear it then.
I gave Ash a hesitant glance, but he just nods and gestures towards Andrew with his hand. He's leaving this to me. It's my story to tell after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in this old mansion. Now I'm cursed. Exactly as I've told Ash and Zach when they asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No use saying it now that someone legally owns it. No use dragging other people into my problems.
I'm sure it's that letter I found, but I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anslem Village, aren't we?
How did you...
Don't look so surprised. There's only one place popular enough here if we're going to talk about hauntings. I once had a colleague who wrote about it and the urban legends surrounding the place. Years worth of study, but fascinating. It's a shame he passed away at such a young age. He would have done a much better job at explaining topics like this one compared to me. Ashton here might disagree, but it's an interesting topic in sociology, if you care to have an open mind.
Studying the science and theory behind it is completely different from outright believing in it.
You don't believe in those stories, sir?
Now, this isn't a question of belief. All I'm saying is things like these speak a lot about a place's culture and history. And it's not just limited to ghosts. Monsters, gods, you name it. Even you, Miss Santos.
What about me?
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing. In the same way it tells me why our detective inspector here finds such topics absurd. Interesting, isn't it?
My head is starting to spin from all of this. I'm not the smartest person around, but I understand what he's trying to get at. I think it's still too much to take in all at once. I look to Ash for help, but his eyebrows are drawn in front of me. If he keeps staring like that at his cup, I'm pretty sure it's gonna crack soon. As long as it's not scanners and it just blows up.
There's still something you're not telling.
Didn't I tell you everything the other day?
Yeah, but you mentioned the rights, then you proceeded to drop the topic right after. What's with that?
They don't have anything to do with this.
Rights. Luke and Hannah, right?
Yeah, they're the ones who got the place.
Ah, I'm not surprised. They're the kind who gets what they want when they set their eyes on it. From what I've heard, word gets around.
A heavy sigh escapes my lips. Popular or not, they're just my clients. Albeit a little pushy, but just clients. End of story. I wish you'd stop pestering me about them. I'll do the top one. What is it again that Becca does when dealing with a particularly difficult child? The pesky and I wish I could remember. I could certainly use the same trick right about now.
Ashton, look here. I know you're trying to help, but the deal's almost already closed. The papers are being prepared. Once it's done, it's over. I'm just their agent.
And when is that happening?
When what? Is there even a purpose to this line of questioning?
Your working relationship with them. When's it going to end?
About a week from now? It depends on how long the papers will take, but they want us to rush it.
Really? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes, really. Unless they want to buy a house again and want me and Rose to be their agent. If yes, then I don't see a problem with it. Now stop annoying me about it.
Don't accept it.
What? Why? It's my job.
Oh lord, even my younger siblings aren't this difficult to deal with. Then again, Ash is far from a younger sibling to me. If he'd only spell it out, surely I'd understand. We wouldn't even have to talk about it right now. That's how it is, right? Find an even ground. Talk about it like adults we are. It wasn't like this before. But somewhere along the way, something has changed in us. As people, as friends. I wish there's a way I could tell when or why. Instead, I'm left searching blindly for reasons. The next thing we know, we'll be drifting further and further apart. How frustrating.
Now, kids, settle down. We're not going to solve anything by shouting.
Sorry, Sir Andrew.
And we're not going to solve anything either if you keep omitting things.
Speak for yourself. I'm not the only one doing it.
You'll have to forgive my former student, Miss Santos. He's always been the curious kind. Many people think he's lazy, but it's actually the opposite. I see that hasn't changed.
Oh, really? How is he back when he was your student?
Dish, Professor, dish.
I'm sorry, I need to ask. He doesn't talk much about that.
And there's a reason why. Please don't.
Tried to sleep on the first day of class. He didn't repeat it after what I made him do when I caught him. Students like him are the easiest to deal with, once you know what piques their interest. I'd have to say, he's one of the very few who's actually interested in the subject, though.
Ooh!
But there was this one time when...
By the end of the conversation, Ash looks like he's praying for the ground to swallow him up. He's never been one to talk about himself. What I know about him are mostly bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years. He's an atrocious singer, he's bad at art, and he has a personal vendetta against mornings. Now? Now it feels he isn't that hard to figure out after all. It's past noon when Andrew has to leave us for afternoon meeting. But before we separate...
Miss Santos, a word of advice. Just keep in mind that when it comes to cases such as this, they aren't always what they seem.
Naturally, the mention in the letter was brought up several times during our talk. And though Ash is right, in that Andrew offers a different perspective, he is left with more questions than answers instead. What is she? What does she want from me? Is she ever going to leave? They all continue to bug me after we've left the coffee shop. I don't even notice when Ash takes a different turn on our way back.
Where are we going? You can drop me off at the park.
Guess. You have 3 chances.
I'm serious, Ash. Where are we going?
He doesn't answer, but shortly he stops his car in front of a small, nondescript food stall, a little way away from the movie house. If I wasn't paying close attention, I would have missed it without a doubt. He motions for me to wait. He gets out the car and walks in its direction. Sheesh, if you want to buy something, just say it. No need to make yourself look mysterious. It makes you look more like a dork than cool. The wait isn't long, however. Soon, he's walking back holding 2 fish-shaped cones in both hands. Ice cream? Parfait? A cross between the two? By the time he's back inside the car, I've given up any effort on figuring out what he bought. Not that it looks bad, it actually looks quite cute.
Here, take it.
I have to move my head back a little when he thrusts it at me to avoid the ice cream and the fruit toppings from ending up on my nose.
What's this for?
My arm's getting tired. 5, 4, 3, 2.
With a weary glance, I take it off his hands. I still don't understand why there's a need for ice cream today. Nevertheless, I take a small bite. It's actually pretty good. It must have shown on my face, because he chuckles as soon as I take another one.
Saw the place open the other day when we watched Zach's movie. Thought I should give it a try. It doesn't seem like a bad place to get food from time to time.
And you're giving me free ice cream because...
Do I need to have a reason?
Yes.
Are you really going to ask me that?
Here's the thing with Ashton Frey. He does not just treat anyone to free food because he feels like it. He's that much of a Scrooge. Hell, he even asked me to teach him how to haggle once. Haggle! Of all the people who would ask me that! I have expected such requests from Becca, but Ash? Not at all. If I'm going to be honest, he looks a bit constipated with the expression on his face right now. I think he's starting to regret ever buying this.
The other day? The movie with Zach and Rebecca? Rebecca's there, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Unfortunately, guys, I will have to leave it there. Something has arisen at home, so I've got to go sort it out. But if you're enjoying this series, pop a like, it lets me know. If you got a different thing you want me to play, pop it in the comments. I'll have a look and I'll try and play it. And if you subscribe and hit that bell, you'll be reminded every time I upload one of these, a different horror game, or one of my killer concepts. So without further ado, Cerberus has to deal with home life. Ow!